have had too much alcohol for your bullshit, Tasha. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum. In today's episode, Tasha and I will be discussing, I don't know what you want to call it, jungle. We both picked jungle movies, but essentially the concept is places you don't want a vacation.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not one I feel like you hear a lot about, like specifically, like you don't see a lot about jungle horror.
No, and I shared the one that I'm going to talk about on Instagram when I was rewatching it, and Adam actually commented and was like, this one doesn't deserve the hate that it gets. And I was like, you give me a list of these people that hate this movie. Full disclosure, Tasha and I just did a live with Horror Fiend TV. I will link that in the cloud above. So Angel is a little drunk, and so who knows the things that she will say.
We are all anxiously awaiting.
I did manage to successfully change my shirt.
That's good, because when I changed mine, I put it on sideways. Couldn't figure out why there weren't holes for me to put my arm through for the tank top.
Oh my God.
It's going to be a good video, guys. Trust me.
Oh God, poor Mike. I went downstairs. I didn't fall. And I got another drink to refill my skull cup.
Because it's a badass cup.
So we're just rocking and rolling over here.
This is going to be like our viral video.
This will be the one. Fuck. That's awful.
It's going to turn into drunk voices from the mausoleum.
Do more videos like this, please. Fuck. Okay, so Mike, put a quacking sound over that fuck. We're not even 4 minutes in, please. Anyway, so moving right along. Yeah, so we're gonna kind of do this like we did our Alien movie video that we did, which I will link in the cloud above. Where we both kind of picked a movie and we're just gonna kind of talk about it, no spoilers. We're still on live mindset. Don't mind us.
Not at all. I mean, what's better and more relatable than live life?
It's true. This would not have been a good live because I feel like Mike's gonna have to edit a lot of stupid shit out. But we're gonna see how good.
No, this would be a phenomenal live.
We are professionals. And we have this, and we are not going to talk at all about how hot the men are in the movies that we picked. That's not even going to come up, in fact.
That comes up when I'm sober. Like
that's kind of my point, Tasha. It's like it comes up as normal. It's going to be so much worse. Anyway, in fact, I had a thought when I was rewatching my movie that I'm pretty sure I'm going to accidentally say, so it's going to be great. Moving right along. So, yeah, so we're talking jungle movies. We picked 2 jungle-y themed movies that, you wouldn't, these are not places you would want to vacation in the middle of the summer.
That's a big fat negative.
Yeah. So do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Mine is totally spoiled. Okay. So pay attention to the shirts, ladies and gents. This is the show. Just kidding. Yeah. So my pick is the 2010. I don't know. It's like an add-on to the franchise, I guess. It's not like a remake. Predators with the fabulous Adrian Brody.
That's right.
And Topher Grace and Machete, because I can never remember his damn name.
Danny Trejo.
That's the one. Thank you. And there's a lot of people in this because the girl is big too. It's a lot of big names.
Michelle Rodriguez?
No, not her.
Oh.
But she was in, I'm trying to think of the other, the only female actually, was in, she's been in other horror. Huh?
SWAT.
Yes. That's right, I
I
think.
knew it was rolling around in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think you're right.
Yeah, they had, and I forgot that
Sorry.
Morpheus.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Fishburne.
That's the one. Alice Braga.
Oh, I guess I never knew her name.
Danny Trejo, what you said. The guy that played Mombasa is also really popular. God, I'm going to butcher this. Mahershala Ali. He's in a lot of stuff too. House of Cards, Luke Cage, Benjamin Button. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Anyway, I digress. So, if you're not familiar, Predators is about these group of people who all have something in common, but we don't necessarily know what it is right away. And they get dropped on this alien planet and have to fight for their lives. That's the short version. No spoilers. Super underrated film in the Predators franchise. I love the Predators franchise. Alien versus Predators is a favorite monster movie of mine. I love that movie.
Yeah,
But essentially, I picked this for my jungle movie, not because of how hot Adrian Brody is, but in fact because of how hot Adrian Brody is. No, I'm just joking. So the reason I picked this movie is I really liked this concept that humans were being the hunted. So it's essentially the story about these people who get dropped and they have no idea why. And they're on this alien planet and they're being tested and pushed these limits. And they're essentially just trying to, the predators themselves, the aliens, are trying to find these weaknesses in them. Right. And I think that I love that concept. Like if you've ever read The Dangerous Game or The Most Dangerous Game or whatever it is. I read that in high school. But I really like this concept that the humans are a game for these predators. And one of my favorite lines in the movie is actually said by Isabel. She says, "We were chosen because we're predators." She says that in the film. And I thought that was like so beautifully put, because each individual that is chosen, the ones that survived the fall from the airplanes, or spaceships, I guess in this instance, they all have these very unique set of skills that make them very dangerous, not so fun people. And yeah, I just really liked it. I thought it was super actiony. I loved this exploration of something of a Predators movie that doesn't really take place on Earth. I really liked that element a lot.
I think those are some of the best camera shots.
Fucking seriously. And the landscapes around them, like everything is so stunning. Like even the CGI in this is really well done. I love Lawrence Fishburne's character a ton. Like he is like this like crazy, like been there for way too long, like really has stretched his brain to its max capacity. I love his character so much. And I just I thought all the actors were really great in this. The concepts of the two different types of predators, the two different species fighting against each other. I don't know, like I just didn't see, I don't think I have a single complaint about this film. I loved it so much. And of course I'll watch anything with Adrian Brody. That's not a secret, right? He's just such a phenomenal actor, and he's so believable in this. And he does this, like, this is not something he does in every movie he's in, but he does this whole like deep and disconnected voice or whatever. And I'm just like, huh, but anyway, I digress. So my pick was Predators from 2010 because I think it's a phenomenal movie. I think it was a great addition to the franchise. I really liked a lot of the lore buildup, the story, the characters, everything. I was super impressed with this when I saw it for the first time. And I think it still stands up because I rewatched it today to prepare for this conversation. So what did you think of Predators? Yeah.
With the voice, I totally, like, in my head called that his Batman voice.
That only makes it hotter. I'm going to be honest with you because you don't like to be Batman fan. There's like the part, okay, small spoiler. Where he covers himself in mud so that they can't heat signature him with the
Mm.
And I was like, what? I said this out loud. And I was sober when I watched it. I said this out loud. I was like, I would lick the mud off his face. I was just like, oh my God. Like, I love Adrian Brody so much. First of all, I'm a huge fan of his in general. I love everything I've ever seen him in. He is like my number one, like hot celebrity pick or whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? But I loved him in this. I like him as this like ambiguously good but not good character. Like he kind of walks that line, and I don't know, like I just really liked it. And I feel like too with the characters, I believed all of them. They were all super believable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they
anyway,
were
what
all
did you
great.
think of
The casting
Predators?
was
Yeah.
on point.
Yeah. So what did you think of this movie?
I liked it.
Yeah.
As a kid, like especially because I was kind of like, well, I kind of still am a chicken. The I hadn't really seen any of the original Predator movies, like the original
Oh,
franchise.
okay.
And then it always annoys the crap out of my mom. So when I was very young, apparently one of my cousins showed me Aliens when it first came out, and she said I would wake up like screaming from nightmares for like 2 weeks.
Aliens, like as in the sequel or Alien?
Alien.
Alien. Okay,
Like
sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
way
I just
back
want to make sure I was following
because
along.
I'm old. Um,
Hey,
so that's
we're
like
like
the
the same
only,
age.
huh?
We're like the same age. Don't say
Yeah.
that.
I'm sorry.
Now my
Um,
feelings are hurt. End episode. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
well,
Go ahead.
so I didn't really watch any of the Alien franchise, but at some point we got Alien versus Predator on DVD,
Mhm.
and I watched the shit out of that movie. So I was all on board with that one.
Yeah.
And this kind of like, I don't know how it gave me the same vibes, but it kind of like felt nostalgic for me. They, like I said, the casting was like
Mm.
on point. The camera shots, the CGI for the scenery and stuff like that, that was
God,
on point.
so good.
That one scene, and you know which one I'm talking about, is just amazing when they come out of the forest.
And they see, yeah.
Yeah. Trying not to spoil stuff.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
sure. I
it's
mean,
just
yeah.
it's that to me, like I wanted to pause it and like take a picture of it because it was
It's
just
like
it
it's
was
art.
gorgeous.
No, it's stunning. Yeah.
So yeah, so I and there, plot twists that I didn't see coming, and that's always appreciated because I hate it when I figure it out ahead of time, which I don't do as often as you do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah,
No, it was
I
good.
really liked it a lot. And Topher Grace, without giving too much away, like his character was like wow. Like because okay, so most people I feel like this is true. Topher Grace to me is Eric Foreman, right? So like seeing him in a more dynamic, serious, like kind of because he starts out like kind of comedic, like there's definitely some like comedic moments, but his character in essence is not a funny character. And I think that like it kind of took me by surprise, like how believable he was. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
You
Like
sold it, man.
he did such a great job. And I mean, yeah, this movie's over a decade old, but I recommend it. I think if and that what's true is, so Prey, which is a prequel to Predators, comes out in August.
Oh.
And so right now, Hulu has all the Predators, I think. I know it has the first one, the second one, the Predators that we're talking about, Aliens versus Predators. But I think it's because Prey comes out, and I think it's a Hulu original, and it comes out, I think, like middle of August, second or third week in August, I think. So Predators are like literally everywhere right now. But I really liked, I don't know, I was just really pleasantly like surprised by the film in general. I really liked it a lot.
Yeah. No, it was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And it was still like gross without being ridiculously overboard or overdone or too in your face. So
And it was an expansion. of the lore. Like we got this bigger picture of what they do, how they do it, yada yada, right? Like
Yeah.
when we meet Arnold Schwarzenegger, was it Dutch? We meet Dutch and what's his name? And in the original, like it's a very different method of storytelling, I feel like. And so this was just this opportunity to take some of that lore and expand on it. And I wasn't disappointed. I thought they did a great job. I love the additional creatures, I don't know, like all of it, I just thought was executed really well.
Yeah. I always love a good backstory.
Yeah, of course. I'm a sucker for lore. Anything that builds around the lore or the story, I'm in here for. So
yeah,
that was my jungle pick for this episode.
No, it was a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Glad you picked Adrian Brody, even though I thought Topher Grace was better looking.
You're allowed to be wrong. God, Adrian Brody, I'm telling you, man. There's like, never mind. I love Adrian Brody. That almost went down a really dangerous area. Mike would have had to edit that out. If you are an Adrian Brody fan, because he is a phenomenal actor, aside from the fact that I would have his children, he was really, really great in season 4 of Peaky Blinders. He plays basically a mafioso. Like he plays like an Italian mobster. And I'm telling you, like he's born for this role. And he has these like one-liners that make you just like melt into the floor kind of thing, you know? Anyway, I love Adrian Brody. Moving on, what was your pick?
Tell me how you really feel.
Girl.
So I picked The Ruins.
Yeah.
It, to me, just like screamed jungle, because the jungle itself, of course, is a very integral part of everything.
It is. No, you're right.
Do what?
It is. You're right. I agree.
It came out in 2008.
Shit.
Yeah.
We're old. You're right.
You just yelled at me for saying that.
But now I agree with you.
That's some bullshit.
I know.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
So it had like pretty decent people in it. Like,
oh my God.
I recognized Jenna Malone, but I didn't think that was her name until I looked up. I didn't remember that was her name.
Jenna Malone.
Jonathan. Huh?
I'm sorry, Jenna Malone. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Tucker, I didn't know that was his name, but I saw him also in a movie that he did with Bruce Willis, like Hostage, I think.
Yeah, that's the guy that was in the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, right?
Oh, okay.
Right?
Sure.
He played Jeff, right? What are you laughing at?
Don't get crackers on your mic.
There are worse things that could end up on my mic. Go ahead.
Mike?
I meant throw up. Jesus, calm down. We are talking about Adrian Brody. I'm sorry.
There are a couple things that I felt like were kind of stereotypical, which is basically the entire beginning scenes.
Yeah.
Which I feel like we probably could have done without quite that much.
Yeah. It wasn't needed to build out the relationships. We didn't need it.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like the biggest lesson to take away from this is if you go on vacation, somebody says they're going to take you to a cool place that's off the beaten path, don't do it.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
That's a common trope for these kind of films too, though, because that's also like the setup premise for
Hostel.
The Deep House and like there's a lot. There's a lot of movies that utilize that as like a I'm looking up that guy because I want to make sure that I'm right about this. Go ahead.
So yeah, but I also like I'm kind of a history buff, so having like the Mayan aspect to it, the ruins out in the middle of the jungle, and all of a sudden they find themselves, stuck stranded on it with no idea what's going on because these people aren't speaking English. All they know is they can't go anywhere. And it takes some really creepy turns. I'm usually not like a body horror person, and I will admit that there are scenes where I had to like walk away for a second.
Yeah.
There were a couple that were kind of rough, but it drives home like just how horrible and desperate their situation is.
Yeah.
So really, I would change it because it's kind of an essential part. So I think they did a great job of showing kind of, what's the word that I'm trying to think of? Like how people start to fall apart when they're trapped in a situation like this. Like The Mist, where all of a sudden, these people are all stuck together and, very quickly everything just falls to shit. So I think they did a good job with that. The main area that they're in for most of it is really cool. I love it.
So I think Joe Anderson plays Mateus. And Joe Anderson is a vampire in the Twilight movies, but he's also the main character in one of my favorite horror TV shows of all time, which is The River. And I think one of the strengths of this film is definitely the casting choices. I mean, Shawn Ashmore, Jenna Malone, Jonathan, whatever, from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Joe Anderson. Yeah, that's the one. And they do a phenomenal job. And I think there's a lot about this that is kind of tropey, but it also works. Like, I feel like the flowers, which I won't give too much away there, but the flower stuff that you and I talked about before we were started recording. Yeah. But like a lot of these elements are really unsettling, and I think that it's pretty effective in that regard, and it is pretty like unique. Like when you add in like not only what happens to like our main like cast of people, but also what happens with the people that live nearby.
Yeah.
I mean, they do some horrible shit basically off of superstition, but then of course we realize that like the superstition is based in reality. But
and I like that they're like, you're kind of in the dark with them too, because you don't understand what's happening until things take the turn for the worse.
No, you're dead on. And I think that you being in the dark and all of that mystery around it, like you're like, okay, so like, because going into so I realized, what was it, like 20 minutes in maybe, I realized I had actually seen this before, but I didn't remember most of it. Yeah, because I think I probably saw it when it first came out, like a long time ago. And so I got through it, and I remember again even though I'd seen it before and I didn't remember much, when I get through the first part of it, I'm wondering, I'm like, how I was actually thinking, based on not remembering it, that the people in the like around it, like the people who live nearby, the people who like the villagers. Yeah, there we go. I actually thought they were like the problem. You know what I mean? Like at first going into it, I was like, oh, like they're like, no, like we're gonna like do this to you, and you have to like. I didn't realize that it wasn't quite what I thought it was, and I like that about it. I think it takes a couple turns.
Yeah.
For you to really understand. And I actually really liked the ending as well. I liked the build up to the end. I don't know, like it was pretty well paced. I don't think I don't think was it 2008, I think you said 2008. Yeah. I don't think as a 2008 film it like blew me out of the water like as a second watch. Hi, Journey. He's like, it is past bedtime, ladies.
He's like, you have been talking to so many people and ignoring me for so long.
The nerve.
Bullshit.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that I think that it's good enough that when you see it, you'll remember it. You know, like it's one that like, because like it got to a certain point where I was like, oh shit, I've seen this before, which never happens to me. Fun fact.
Yeah, it just kind of just gets under your skin, you know.
And you're right, it does have a lot of body. Well, there's the one at least for the episode. Moving right along. Did you get through that whole live without making a pun? I just realized it. The nerve, right, Journey? You got through that whole thing. Tasha, that was like 2 whole hours.
Yeah, I don't think I did.
What?
I'm so disappointed in myself now.
I don't even know who you are.
Me either.
Who are any of us, right?
Who are you?
Oh, Jesus. Who?
Please edit that out. For the love of God.
No. Oh, my God. Mark.
Mike, please.
Oh, God. I said Mark instead of Mike. Mike,
that alone means I win.
Oh, boy. Don't make me say some shit. Anyway, we're moving along from this. So yeah, so The Ruins was a good movie. I did actually like it. So that one I had to pay to watch, but that's fine. I rented it on Amazon.
Do you not have HBO Max?
Not anymore.
Oh.
Yep. What a bummer. That's like the only thing I lost. But she's like, I'm gonna do the green one.
On that note, I think part of what did it for me with The Ruins is that it is absolutely like, you know, danger aside, like the Mayan ruins and everything out. Like, wow, my words just. Woo.
This is the show, ladies and gents.
I know. So, like, I love history and archaeology and stuff like that. So, being able to see, like, Mayan artifacts and ruins, different locations and stuff like that would be, like, a dream for me. So, I think that having that kind of, like, turned on its head in this, for me, is part of also what really made it stick.
Yeah. No, I think The Ruins is good. I feel like The Ruins just came up in conversation on something, maybe Twitter. Like I had just commented and I was like, I need to see, because I was sitting here thinking like people kept talking about this movie and I'd never seen it. And then of course, like I said, I messaged you and I was like, I definitely have seen this movie, but no, it's a good one.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
And what is true is I think you walk away from it with a sense of unease because there's a lot of stuff that like you don't get answers to.
Yeah. And they leave it so open-ended.
They do, but it's executed in a way that that's not a letdown. Like, I mean, I've seen stuff that's definitely open-ended, ambiguous, whatever.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you're left going, you know, but I didn't feel that way about this one.
Yeah, no. And I kind of wondered too, like watching it, I was like, man, were they leaving that open for a sequel?
Yeah, because they definitely definitely could have had a sequel.
Yeah.
Because of the way that it ended.
Yeah. It's funny because like jungles in general, like I watch a lot of nature documentaries too. Mm-hmm. And that's where they find like the Goliath bird-eating spider and horrible, huge bugs. So
definitely big bugs.
Typically that's not somewhere I would want to go anyways, with the exception of the archaeology stuff. But yeah, no. It's like Australia. Like every time I start to think I want to go to Australia, I see some kind of nature documentary about how everything there wants to kill you.
And you're just like, never mind.
Yeah. Like,
Nemo made it sound so much better. Yeah. Well, and Australia is also a place for sharks too. I know sharks on the brain, but like
It is.
Yeah, like to your point, I don't want to go anywhere ever. Like these movies, like they just make me not trust anything. And I went into it like thinking I really didn't trust Mateus at all. Like I was like, and he was dishonest. He was,
Yeah.
but not to the level I thought he was going to end up being.
Not to like hostile level.
I hated that fucking movie. Did you like Hostel?
But just that comparison of like.
No, I know what you mean. The luring of the.
Yeah.
God, I hated that movie. I really hated Hostel. And I saw it. I was in high school when it came out. We were in high school when it came out. And I went to theaters to see it thinking, oh, it's going to be like a fun, scary movie. I'll go with this guy that I like. Not a good idea, in fact. Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, no, I like The Ruins. The Ruins is good. I think both of our movies are kind of like in the middle of great and not great.
Yeah.
Like they don't like neither film is like life altering other than seeing Adrian Brody without a shirt and covered in mud. But aside from that,
my hot guy got stabbed, so I don't want to hear it.
Speaking of mediocre. Just joking. I'm just joking. I've had a lot of vodka. Don't judge me. I'm just joking.
It was kind of a spoiler, wasn't it?
No, because you didn't say who you thought was hot. I'm here for you, girl. Although that's what you get for talking shit on the live about one of my favorite shark movies.
I just didn't expect it to end up on your top 3. Like
I had to have it on the top 3, dude. Like I had to have it because do you know how hard it was to come up with a fucking top 3? I can't come up with a top 3 anything, snacks, nothing. Like I can't come up with a top 3 nothing. And so when he was like top 3, I'm like, what a random ass number. And I was like, man, well, I know one of them's going on there. I know. Well, to be fair, though.
I needed more of this first.
Look, I'm telling you, I'm almost out of vodka. I think that, like, okay, to be fair, in my defense, I really was trying to approach it that I felt like a fun one needed to be on my list. So I really did pick one. So if I had to pick like a genuine top 3, like best, really good, not stupid shark movies, it would be 47 Meters, 47 Uncaged, and probably the other one I said, Open Water 3.
Fair.
But I had already talked about 47 Meters in a previous video. I'll link that one. And I wanted to talk about Uncaged because it's really good. And I think people are not giving it a chance because it's a sequel, but it's really good. And I needed a fun one. So fucking here we are.
Fair. She's going to drink till it sounds better.
How is that not a thing yet? What the fuck? Yeah, so those are our don't want a vacation here places. The Ruins and Predators.
I feel like you hesitated for a second. Even though it's on your shirt.
I almost said Aliens, that's why. Because I was thinking in my head, I pictured Aliens versus Predators, which is that's not what we're talking about. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, so that's all we have for this one, right? Did you have some final thoughts?
Good talk, Chief. I'm honestly impressed that this went as well as it did. We got it done, and then we talked about a bunch of shit that didn't have anything to do with the episode. That's fair.
Oh, jeepers creepers. Okay. Yeah, so that's our episode on places you don't want a vacation. The Ruins and Predators. It's interesting because I think both of our picks are kind of like literally, I think I kind of sort of said this already, but they're like on the same playing field.
Yeah.
Which is which is weird because that's not normally the case.
No, I'd give them both like a 7.
Y'all, this fucking co-host of mine and her goddamn 7s.
This girl that I love so much.
I know, God, if I didn't have her, I don't know what I would do. But yes, like, I fucking hate to even say this, but I agree.
I know.
There are parts of this movie that are more than a 7.
Did Adrian Brody die?
Huh?
Did Adrian Brody die in it?
I will end you. You hear me? I will fucking end you. I can't believe you just said that. I'm so offended. That's my future ex-husband. The nerve of you.
Saving you the trouble of going through the process to make him an ex?
Oh God, he's so dreamy to me. And it's so funny because he's not classical handsome by any stretch of the imagination, but God, that nose.
Yeah, that's usually not like my first.
I like really exaggerated features, like big noses and like I've always been like that. I have had too much alcohol for your bullshit, Tasha. I hate you. You know what the fuck I meant.
Oh
Shit.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Indeed. Anyway, that's our fucking episode.
Oh,
this would have been a good one to start with the hey bitches or what's up bitches. Missed opportunity. I can't breathe. I need a nap after all this.
I mean, it's late enough. You can just call that bedtime.
You always got some shit to say. All I could think of, you've seen what's the name of that movie? Talladega Nights. You've seen that, right? No, who says he's always crying. Oh, okay, for all day. That's our fucking whatever episode. Jungle. I forgot. Jungle.
That's our jungle episode.
That's what we've been calling it anyway. I have no idea what the fuck. Anyway,
it's a jungle.
You guys should definitely watch the live we did with Horror Fiend TV. I will link it below, as well as I linked it. I'm gonna have linked it in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's there. It's in the beginning. It's at the end. You get it. You should watch it. It's very funny. I had a lot to drink by the end of it, as clearly. Stop it.
No, I never would have guessed.
Oh God, just wait till we do shorts while we're at Mothman. That shit's gonna be a disaster because I plan on drinking. That'll be my first getaway, like my first, getting be lit. Are we too old to say lit? Probably not.
It just goes against my usage of the English language.
Okay, but also we're going to Mothman, and I feel like things related to lighting are relevant. So,
because moths are attracted to light?
Good job.
Check it.
Tasha's had less to drink than I have.
How do you know? Maybe I pregame.
That wasn't obvious.
Maybe I pregame.
Yeah, we might have. That's true. Anyway, we're coming up on an hour, and like half of this episode is even going to be on the end. Yeah, so that was our jungle episode. Adrian Brody and a movie about a Mayan something. The Ruins, 2008, and Predators, 2010. Those are our 2 movies. So if you haven't seen them, I did have to rent The Ruins, but Predators is currently on Hulu, I think, because the Hulu original Prey is coming out in a couple weeks. So you can watch, I think, all of the Predator movies, if not all of them, most of them.
The Ruins is on HBO Max.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Thank you. And yeah, The Ruins on HBO Max, which I no longer have. But Tasha has my login for stuff. So anyway, we'll talk about that afterwards. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check back on the channel for Friday for another episode of Found Footage Fridays. I think based on when this is released, our next Found Footage Friday episode, Tom and I are discussing Ghost Watch, which is a phenomenal controversial film that Tom has not seen yet. So super pumped about that. And Saturday for a horror bestie breakdown, we are doing, by the time this comes out, we will have done Puppet Master.
Oh, is this later in the month? Like later?
Well, this is next Tuesday. The Saturday is fresh, is it not? No.
The Saturday is fresh.
Yes.
Next Saturday is Mark.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Mark, the Monster Project.
Yes.
I'm so good at this, you guys. Anyway, yes. So Friday, Found Footage Friday, Tom and I are doing Ghost Watch. Saturday, Tasha and I got to hang out with Mark from the You Run podcast and MW Horror Reviews. And we talked the Monster Project, which is not obvious how much I love this film.
Not at all.
So we'll see you guys then. Have a good week. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a good weekend, and we will see you in the next one.